When we left off, we were busy working on wiring and plumbing aboard Makara.
We're out of the marina. We're sailing. Wait, we don't have any sails. We're not sailing yet.
This is an empty boom. We hope there will be a sail here this afternoon.
We hope so. We pulled out of the dock we were at over in Tacoma to save a little bit of money. We got kind of the majority of the bigger things that we wanted to do at the dock mostly wrapped up, so we're gonna head out. We're gonna be on anchor just across the way here. It's a beautiful sunny day out. We're gonna bend on Makara's new main. So excited.
In order for us to bend that mainsail on, someone has to go up the mast.
Because we left the halyard up there by accident.
Back when we were doing our measurements and all that sort of stuff, we forgot to bring the main halyard down with us because we were playing around with some things up there. In order for us to get it back, someone has to go up and get it, basically. We're going to bend on the sails, and the terminology bending on sails is obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but it is a nautical term because that's just an old sail terminology. So they used to refer to bending was fastening a sail. So in the old tall ships or whatever, you would fasten your sail because they obviously didn't have fancy slides and tracks and all that sort of stuff. So they would fasten the sail to the pole, to the mast, which they just, I don't know where it came from before that, but that was just, it was called bending on, and I'm guessing that's where sheep's bend and bends came from in general when you're talking about knots and ropes and all that sort of jazz. So I just thought that was interesting. Yeah, the fun fact for the week.
For the week.
Because I'm not coming back tomorrow to tell you anything else.
And impress all your friends with that knowledge.
Yeah, it wasn't all that exciting. We'll have to come up with something better, I reckon.
Well, here is our brand spanking new, crispy, nice, pretty white mainsail, and we're so excited to put it on. This is the head, which is the top of the sail. There's a little headboard here. This is our first little slider, and we will put it in the track and raise it on up.
This is it. And you guys, you know you love hearing who did this sail for us. Precision Sails. They've done an awesome job. It went for a little tour of Canada, then it did a tour of America. It made its way to us. And yeah, it is, as Hillary said, crispy as. I did my trip up the mast to retrieve the halyard we left up there. And now we're gonna bend this on while we've still got some light. It's pretty nice out right now, so hopefully this all goes to plan. These are our battens. It's a fully battened main. And as you can see, they're gonna spring out like crazy. This is how they came packaged, all rolled up. These are, I don't know what these would be. Probably a fiberglass, you'd say? Or some sort of composite. Yeah. I'm not really sure what they are. And then these will go in the main to stiffen it horizontally. Whoa.
Alright, we got the battens apart without killing ourselves. That was a little task.
Probably the hardest part so far is
uncurling those battens.
Uncurling the battens and not poking an eye out.
Alright, time to put them in the sail.
Did I hit you then? No?
No.
It's close.
So, yeah, good.
Something we really like about this already that we're excited about was the way these battens are put in. On Varuna, something we didn't like is there was a lot of hardware, a lot of mechanical hardware, and there were these fancy, very expensive batten cars that you could adjust the tension of the batten by moving a little thumb screw. This is simply like a nice tensioned pocket, basically, that we can then run this line through and hand tension whatever we need in here. We're going to look up and see, figure out, we'll ask the guys at Precision how we should do this. We're thinking about just tying a loop and then that way, but right now we're just tying a little reef knot in these, and that seems to make it for easy adjusting, and we're not doing any hardcore sailing right now, so it's not like a big deal. Look at this, we got our name, our logo, so good.
As we hoisted the sail, it looked so good, but it seemed more difficult than it should be to raise and difficult to lower, prompting us to take a closer look at the slides.
So this is the old original slide that came off of Makara's sail. It's a Bainbridge A109. Fits really easy into the gate, nice and loose when you slide it in, and I can just push it and it'll fly up. No issues. It flies up like 10 feet in the air. Very smooth. Now this is the brand new Bainbridge A109. It's a little bit tougher to get into the mast gate there. Still has some movement while it's in the gate area, but as soon as it goes up into the track, it just completely binds. And we can see it has a little bit of left-right movement, so it's not too wide. And we can see the flange has some space. So the only thing that could be, as far as we can deduce, is the thickness of this part that goes into the track. Put it in, and it's just incredibly hard to push. And this is just the slide itself without the weight of the heavy sail on there. So once we had the sail on there, that's why we had to winch it to get it all the way up. And getting it down was even harder.
So there's a lot of different names for parts, like everything has different names, right? On here, the main parts usually on your slides are going to be what's called the waist, and that's this width right here that goes in between the sail track, I guess. And then there's the width, which is the actual slide part inside. So this is an internal track as opposed to an external track. I'd probably say the majority are maybe internal tracks. Some of the other dimensions that we're now aware of, thickness of this part, which we think is called the flange depth, and that's the part we think is binding once it goes in the track. This is just a little bit too thick, whereas our old one, it's worn down just a hair. And then the web depth, which would be the connector between this inside flange and outer flange here, I think this is called the web depth. Pretty sure that looks all right. We still have some space there, but we think it's this one here, which is the flange depth. So the first thing we did after taking the sail down was contact the guys at Precision Sails, because they've been really helpful, and as they should be, and we knew they would be. So we sent them an email right away while also researching some of our own stuff. We double-checked our numbers that we did. We retook measurements here on the sail track and took new measurements also on our previous slides as well, and started looking at those in a bit more depth. So we did some research to try and figure out what are some other things that we could be doing possibly wrong or could do better. We cleaned and lubed the track. We brought our old slides back and tested those just to make sure we weren't going crazy, because it's been a little while since we had that mainsail up. You know, maybe it all gunked up or something like that. We ended up going out and buying a brand new A109 slide just to make sure we weren't going crazy, and to slide it up individually without it being attached to a sail. It's the exact same slide as what's on the sails, but we didn't want to obviously take it off of the sail unless we had to. So I think I sent an email to them first thing in the morning and heard back from them later that day, and they were right on top of it, which was great. I think they're going to be really helpful with us. I know they've already asked us for what our favorite local sail loft is, so they can get us in there. So we'll give them a few of those details of what will work for us, and hopefully have this back up in no time. 49 3/4. Trying to get some trim up, which we've been delaying for quite a while. And this is what's going to go up. This is our piece that's going to go up here. And obviously that won't cover all the screw holes. Our plan is to put the trim up and then have like a piece of quarter round or something that will then cover the screws up there.
Miter box.
That's right, it is a miter box. It's a pretty sweet old school. It's not like the plastic ones. They have all the different little settings on it, and it has been around for a little while.
So that miter box is my dad's that we are borrowing, and supposedly, I don't remember the story, but it's very old. It was one of his very first tools.
Somehow it's amazing. I don't feel like trim does anything, but then once you have it up,
yeah, it looks so much
to
better.
Bring everything together, and you're like, oh, but it doesn't look like crap.
As the dark winter days set in here in the Pacific Northwest, we kept working hard to wrap up projects and make the boat a bit warmer and more livable. But that's our next adventure. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, a thumbs up and subscribing helps us out a lot. Until next time.